Where's the lady with the beady eyes who likes to go low? You asked Dorit. I mean, I don't know where she was, but she definitely should have shown up along with her best friend's ragtag that's in karma too. Because the way you've been long overdue and long awaited to be shut all the way down. But don't worry, they're going to come checking for you, boo. Okay? They're going to come see about you. It may not be today. It may not be tomorrow. Oh, best believe they certainly, though, are going to show up on time. But anyway, y'all, what's going on? It's your girl, Chiiiile V here, and welcome to my chat party. I'm so glad that y'all could join me for a little bit, for a lot of it, showing up to the party fashionably late, fashionably early to hear my little thoughts, views, and opinions on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 14, Reunion Part 2. And the way I tell y'all, Bravo must have wanted me to break my TV. Okay, they was like, "Now you know what I'm saying? It was almost during the season, but we're not gonna go out without a bang. At least trying to get y'all attempt to lose your minds and go crazy." Okay, and I said I was gonna have a glass of wine before I watched the episode and totally forgot about it because that definitely would have calmed me down. But anyways, y'all, I got a lot to say. We definitely are going to get into it. Let me say though, for those of you, because I definitely saw, okay, I definitely saw the guest list increase. And I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for subscribing to the party. I hope that y'all really enjoy it here and y'all will find it to be a good time for sure. So thank you so much to those of you, like I said, who are just taking time out of your day to come hear what I have to say, whether you agree or not. For those of you who have been spinning and twisting and a jumping and a turning and the boots on the ground. And I don't even want to say that because I'm so sick of that song right now. I don't know what to do. On my dance floor with your comments. I appreciate you so much. Y'all rock with me so hard in this short amount of time. And I'm telling you, the love is great for that. So thank you. Don't stop. Keep coming back. For those of you who are a little shy to be hitting the dance floor, or it's really not your thing, that's cool. You know, you like to sit in the seat and kind of watch. Eventually you'll warm up. So thank you for hitting the like button. I truly appreciate that. For those of you who will subscribe in the future, thank you for that too. Okay. But y'all know we got to get into this before we do button. However, let me let you know that there will be a little special DJ announcement at the end. Okay. Some of y'all may not give a rat's tooey tooey or ratatouille tooey, but maybe some of y'all will appreciate it too. But anyway, so hopefully I hope that you stick around for that and that you find, you know, some type of entertainment of some sort in the meantime and in between time. So here we go, y'all. So Jennifer and Kathy arrived to the glam room, right, to get ready. And I'm like, hold up, hold up. Y'all remember when Martin used to say that? Hold up. Because I'm like, did Jennifer ask for a donut and that man passed it to her with no napkin, no gloves, no utensils, or any type of barrier between his little fingers and that donut? But worst of all, did Jennifer actually take it without saying anything? I was like, ooh, yikes. Okay, listen, I guess we're all a bit different, but that grossed me out a bit, okay? And I don't even know if germaphobe has anything to do with it. It's just a common courtesy of, dude, I don't know where your hands have been. And you just came in like, what are you doing here? All right, not important. Let's move on. So they're back on stage from the lunch break. And Garcelle starts off addressing Kyle and asking why Kyle told her the things she told her off camera. And she said because it was a way of getting to a deeper level with her, that she was trusting her because they were friends. And I'm like, yeah, what a crocker. Because Kyle didn't even look right letting that flow off her lips, right? You could tell that she pretty much told her off camera for the only reason being that she didn't want to put her stuff on blast, okay? And confirm that she may be a lesbo at the end of the day, which is quite all right, right? But again, we understand people being private too, but and you have that right. But if you want to be so private, then you've got to know this ain't your platform, or being on the platform is not your thing. Okay. And so Andy asked if um it's about she who cannot be named, aka Morgan, and Garcelle said yes. And Andy says the public would say she's a on a platform as well because you know she's or rewind the public would also agree that Kyle is on a platform and that she should be sharing her life, right? She's supposed to share her life. And Kyle says she's not going to share anything that'll hurt her daughters. And it's like, okay, well then leave, girl. Peace out. Like I said, you won't be missed either. Let me just throw that in there. So Bo said she should just say, I'm not going to share and just stand on that. But it's not that simple, Bose, because again, you are here to share. This is what you agreed to and signed up for. Some of us might say there's levels and limits to that or limits to this. Maybe, maybe not. And you know what? That could be a debatable thing, right? In all fairness and honesty, because we can think about the fact, and Kyle has named them in the first part of the reunion where she has shared quite a few of her personal things, right? So sometimes it's like there's a limit to this, I guess. But to the fact that someone keeps, I don't know, I guess I'll just leave it at that. Okay. Y'all have to let me know what you think about that. If she should be sharing or not sharing, or she's entitled not to share. And so, Kyle and Dorit are completely going back and forth about their friendship. Hard fast forward. Andy chimes in to drill her about this whole Morgan situation and her and Kyle's desire to keep her private when she's a public figure herself. And I get what they were trying to do, but at the same time, just let it be. Because I'm like, I'm so sick of talking about Morgan again. We can draw our own conclusions, make our own inferences about what her and Kyle have going on. Okay. It seems evident to me that the lady is still around, apparently, too. And if y'all were just friends, Kyle, you wouldn't be going this hard to protect her privacy. Not in my opinion, okay? Because if anything, I'd just be like, look, that's my homegirl. Seems like it's more than what it is to the naked eye, but it's really not. You know, she was just there for me when I really was going through, and I only helped her out, you know, because she was my good Judy with a provocative video, you know, where I actually kind of wanted to rip her clothes off, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But I didn't, you know, you could have said something. You could have said something to justify the fact that, listen, y'all think what y'all want to think. This gonna be my story in my head that I'm sticking to. We just friends, and I'm gonna make y'all believe that we just friends, okay? Now, meanwhile, I've never seen the video, y'all, but I heard it was pretty spicy. Okay, did y'all see it? Y'all will have to let me know. And guess what? I ain't pulling it up because I have no desire to see it. So, Kyle, we know what it is, and I'm with the people. Disclose because you be in everybody else's business, or get off the pot. Okay? And be private with Morgan. Go be private with Morgan. All right. So I guess at the end of the day, without realizing, I did have my mind made up already. I said you show your business. If you want to be that bold to be up in here with people viewing you, then go in. Go hard or go home. You know, put it out on the table, or don't. You know, just be done with it. And so then Andy mentioned the video, funny enough, shortly after I did, contributing so mightily to be, or to the conversation that was already a runaway train. And so I'm like, let's pause and rewind right quick, right? You didn't want to share info on camera, which Garcelle said was about Morgan, and you didn't want to do anything that would hurt your daughters. But if we wrap all that together, we potentially get what our opinion already is, most of us at least, that part of the issue is that your daughters must not know about Morgan, right? At least the real relationship between you and Morgan, the deeper relationship between you and Morgan, possibly, potentially, because, or I should say, or if they do know about it, you feel it would affect them publicly in some type of way. So then why even agree to the video where you're posing as lovers? Like, just why? That, you know what I'm saying? It's like all of your daughters are beyond old enough to comprehend that. And so were you not thinking of them in that moment? When, again, you made that video, you ain't think they was going to have no questions, or you ain't think it was going to look a little strange? Yeah, made no sense to me. Moving on. Now we get into the text thread of it all and playing the package on that. Fast forward to Andy saying he did a Watch What Happens live poll, and 70 something percent of the audience said they thought it was wrong for Kyle texting PK. And sure, but was it wrong for Dorit to be nestled all up in Mauricio's back after the real robbery had occurred? Like that was her man she was laying next to every night? Oh, and I know I said that before, but I'm just saying it again, okay? Because some things we just can't forget. Because there is no way in hell you would be sitting there with your face all up in my man's back, okay? What? I still don't get, and Kyle even showed it in the season when she met with Bose at her house. I'm like, why are we not talking about that? I don't know why I'm feeling like it. Y'all might disagree with me. That might be a little worse to me than this whole text message gate because yeah, while there might be, oh, I never told your secrets, I still feel like we really can discern that ain't nothing going on with PK and Kyle. Okay? But the fact that you was all up on my man, like it was your man, mm, again, maybe I'm just built different, y'all. But anyways, and so Andy asked the ladies if they are Team Kyle in terms of the text. Erica speaks up and says she doesn't think what everyone thought of it. She was just under the impression that Kyle was talking about production and being on the show. And of course, Kyle's like, yeah, 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 yeah. Help me out, Erica. And y'all may have seen What's Love Got to Do with It, but I don't know if y'all remember the ladies in the singing group used to always reference Ike getting at them like, he gonna find your five. He gonna find your, like anytime they would mess up, Ike Turner was gonna find, like he ain't like that. He would get mad. I said, Erica, just know later, Dorit gonna find your, she gonna find you. Cause you think she's going to be happy that you said that? And you went against the grain. Remember, this is not what y'all coordinated. Okay. Anyways, and so Dorit's gonna be all on Erica. But anyways, Andy asked Kyle how she would feel if she saw a text from Dorit to Mo that he can trust her because she'd never repeat anything he told her. And of course, we already know Dorit was going to eat that right up. So she's sitting there, oh, just having a ball, right? And Kyle seems to understand from that vantage point. Myself, on the other hand, would have been like, it just would have confirmed what I was feeling and thinking all along, like how she was so close to my husband, okay, that she can smell into his soul that, they've got a thing happening, okay? That's where my mind would have went. And it's telling, him telling her the secrets, I would have been like, oh yeah, I mean, that's not far-fetched either because it's right in line with his cheating, allegedly. Okay. So a few minutes prior, Dorit said there was a girl code with the whole PK text thing, to which Kyle said they weren't speaking for her to tell Dorit. And just fast forward back to now, where Kyle is saying to Dorit, you didn't follow girl code when you showed the world my text. To which Dorit then says they weren't friends at the time. So I said to Dorit, what is the difference and why does your girl code theory stand but not Kyle's when it's the same freaking theory? Y'all weren't in communication like you normally would be because there was beef. Kyle then says what I said. And guys, I tried to hang in there to have the F's to give, but I just didn't. Okay. So I had to fast forward. At this point, I'm like, when is this joint going to pick up? Okay. And, obviously it does a little bit towards the end. So fast forward. Bo said on a podcast apparently that Kyle was a liar because she was saying one thing about the text and then another. And I just kind of felt like that moment fell flat because I'm like, okay, who cares? Moving on. Andy asked Kyle if she's texted PK since, and she said yes when Jaguar was in the hospital. And so Andy asked her if it bothered her that Kyle did that, and she said she already knew. I mean, because she always knows when Kyle texts him. He tells her. And I'm like, so then what's the problem? You know every goddamn thing in the text. So what is the problem? What is the problem? And at the end of the day, one might say, well, it's still the girl code of it all, right? She might know, but she's waiting for her friend to tell her. But again, they weren't talking. Again, then why not you go to her since it's bothering you so much and be like, girl, PK keeps telling me you texted him. Like, why? What do you need to be texting him about? Like, then bring it yourself. So, like, oh gosh, it's just so backwards and just so boring at the end of the day, right? And apparently, there are no secrets, like I said, being shared then, right? So, this whole thing of I'll never tell your secrets, well, then Dorit should already know what the secrets are. Dorit says she knew Kyle went back to her room when they were in Oceanside to tell PK how her and Dorit had gotten into a fight. And Andy's like, you did that? And Kyle says she did pretty much in a roundabout way. And they're going to be friends, the long and short of it, per usual, and have a sit down talk without the cameras, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah. And then right next season, y'all will be back to arguing again. And then I said, oh, wait, maybe not, because Garcelle will be gone. It'll just be Sutton. So actually, y'all will have to skip a season of fighting to team up against Sutton. Got it. My wonderful Jennifer Tilly comes out, right, graces her presence on that stage and says she was ready for anything that came at her. And I said, okay, Jennifer. I mean, now, a few minutes later, you was apologizing for stuff, and I'm like, okay, no. That's not the type of energy we were looking for. But you're so sweet that this just ain't you, and that's okay. You're not a mean girl to your core, okay? So we get into all the details as to why she's that girl, right? The numerous accolades she has, her expensive items, to include apparently an important American necklace that she wore during like one of her Bravo photo shoots. And apparently there's only one in the world. And I'm like, how Jennifer is just what Jennifer is, okay? Just just fabulous, okay? Just fabulous. And so I loved too when she made that little comment about how most people have D dealers, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you could, use your context clues where, you can buy stuff from people illegally that you ain't supposed to. She's like, well, I have a bag deal. I was like, you better talk about it, honey, okay? But I love how she said that with the necklace, when she first saw it, she couldn't afford it. But then she got really rich, emphasize on the really, okay, not just rich, but really rich. And then she could afford it. I said, you better go ahead, girl. Okay, one time again, say it for the back. Okay. And at the same time, did y'all peep how Erica was like looking all up in the sky, like she was saying a prayer, like, oh, please let this be my story one day. Well, yeah, I was like, okay. And so Andy's trying to be all up in her coin about how much she makes. I think he was like, is it like seven figures that you get off The Simpsons or whatever? And she's like, oh, I'm not going to say. And I was like, and don't, girl, okay? And I also love how she's smart about keeping her expensive jewelry in a safe deposit box at the bank. So Andy was like, all of y'all are on notice. Don't even try it. Don't go, attempting to rob like you did Dorit. Okay? Don't do that, because her stuff is already locked up and secure. And we get into one of the after shows where Jennifer shaded PK about staying at the Beverly Hills Hotel and how he wasn't able to afford it. Of course, I was chuckling. And she immediately begins backtracking, though, and apologizing to Dorit, saying she wasn't trying to offend her and all the things. And like I said, I couldn't even get mad at Jennifer. I definitely, did not intend or expect her to come out guns ablazing and all this other stuff like that, because that's just not her thing, right? She's just not that type of person. And, at the same time, I feel like one could consider it to be acceptable shade, because it wasn't that deep. It wasn't that deep of a dig. She's saying he couldn't afford it and couldn't. And Dorit wasn't on the best terms with PK anyway. It's almost like, again, another part of like, if you don't call it girl code, almost like girl talk and girls having each other's back. Like, I'm saying, if your girl's not feeling her man, you're not going to be feeling him right along with her. Obviously, we know there's a line to that, but that line wasn't it. Okay. It wasn't that deep. So for her to say that, I think if anything, you know, maybe Dorit could have laughed it and chuckled, but of course, she got to take it to a whole nother level. So she starts getting into this whole long song and dance, Dorit that is, about how she adored Jennifer when she first met her. And I'm like, yeah, right. Okay. You adored those endless stacks she has in her bank. Okay. That's what you adored. And you was wondering how you could make that sad account of yours come to life like hers. That's what you loved. But anyway, she goes on to say, when she started hearing all those comments from Jennifer, she believed Jennifer had crossed over. And Jennifer said, to the dark side, and started laughing, meaning like, crossed over here with Garcelle and Sutton. Dorit said, well, like the witches of Eastwick. And I said, no, she didn't. Like the witches of Eastwick. I said, oh, for real? Tag me and please tag me. Oh, I've been waiting to be tagged. Tag me, pick me, pick me. I said, y'all, I was so hot in that moment. Like, no, she did not. And they didn't say anything, of course. Oh, but I was hot for them. I said, okay, like the witches of East. Okay. Now it's more so like was sitting over there on that couch, being the Fox 5 fake, foolish, filthy, spirited, feeble minded, frigid, fraudulent, allegedly, forlorn fizzle pops who crave Sutton and Garcelle's moments to be able to even stay on the platform because you fumbled and stumbled over here from the pits of hell? Oh, yeah, I'm just getting mad. Like I'm telling you, this is why I said I don't know if I could be watching these shows. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are to let such a thing? I don't know why I think that bothered me more than the B word. Like seriously, witch. You gonna call me the witch of Eastwick? Oh, okay, guys. Okay. Cause let's even dissect it right there. First of all, Bose is the one who crossed over to the dark side. Okay. And then it's like, second of all, there you go throwing shade, calling them witches, but they would have never been able to live that down had they said that about you. That probably would have been the most disrespectful thing they could have ever said. I can't stand Dorit. I can't stand Dorit, and I cannot to the stand Dorit. But y'all already know that, right? Okay. So Kathy comes out. I actually liked her outfit on her. Excuse me. They chit chat for a bit, but I said not Mauricio looking like Kyle's father, according to Kathy. I said, oh my. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Wow. Okay. But we know Kathy been shading Mauricio, and Mauricio has not really always been, apparently, throughout the years on her good list. So I know she has been waiting for these moments. But I said, come on, Kathy, cut it out. And unfortunately, Kyle and Kathy's sister, Kim, which I mentioned to you guys before, I probably would have really enjoyed her, is having some struggles right now. Apparently, she's in the headlines and they're saying she's like in a psych ward and apparently had a substance abuse relapse, which we know she struggled with from what I've heard in seasons past before. And so now we get into the lady who should have been in the first seat, in my opinion, and that's Sutton Strack. And let's fast forward and get to a fan comment. Shout out to Jessica Rabbit from Twitter, okay, who said Dorit called someone at the table and see you next Tuesday, right? But what Sutton said about her misdirected anger was too low. Okay. And I said, add me to that, okay, too, Jessica, because exactly. And so Andy asked Garcelle if she thinks that Bose overreacted to Sutton's comment, and she said yes. And Bose is like, how was that overreacting? I mean, Sutton said the words to hurt, and Sutton was like, she didn't. And then she says Sutton can't take accountability for actions. And I'm like, well, that's a lie, Bose. Okay. Because at the same time, your best friend in the whole wide world sitting next to you, can she? Does she know how to take accountability? Name 3 times where she's taken accountability. 3. Matter of fact, I'll give you a fighting chance. Name 1 time she has genuinely taken accountability. Oh, you're stuck. I know you are because you can't. Okay. And so Sutton said Dorit had been going off that night and cussing up a storm. And we get to see the flashback where she was horrific to Camille. And that was a moment of volatile behavior, in my opinion. But we skated right on past that like it didn't even happen, of course. And Bo said there were better ways for Sutton to handle the situation that wasn't, the way to get someone to stop. And I agreed right along with Sutton with that. But once again, I say Bose doesn't understand the history and buildup that has existed there since before she got to the show. Okay? And I know she said last reunion, part 1 or last episode, that, she had watched the season. And I said, girl, again, you couldn't have watched it in its entirety. And shout out to my party peep, Spencer. What's up, my guy? Like he said, she must have watched it with the volume all the way down and did. And must have and had to. Okay? Whew, I'm just like, I cannot. So Bose then apparently though gives Sutton, props for taking accountability. In that moment, I think she should have nudged her friend to let her know that's what accountability is supposed to look like, because she's totally clueless to what it is. Then we resort back to this whole Jaguar interruption situation with Sutton Dorit, y'all know, or with Sutton and Dorit, when they were trying to head to Garcelle's beach house for her gathering, but it was apparently this long drive, and Dorit had been running her mouth for the longest time, which she always does, because from times past, we know she's always been the long-winded queen. She don't know how to shut that mouth and be quiet and give it a rest, right? Probably was repeating the same thing at that point. And so I shared with you guys before that one of our other party peeps, shout out to my girl, Talkative TV Addict, hey girl, put me on to the fact that production had Dorit interrupt. And Dorit was well aware of that. And we know Dorit gets into that, in this reunion too. But I'm just like, so again, if you knew, why are we making this Sutton's fault? Like, why is this even a thing? Why are we talking about this? And I said, see, Dorit is always going to try to squeeze something out of nothing, make a mountain out of a molehill. And it's just ridiculous. Okay. Totally, totally ridiculous. And so I don't know if y'all watched fully, even so, on that flashback, but you can tell because they're saying that Sutton should have handled that better than what she did. And oh, it was just Sutton manners and all the things. But you can tell she had no idea how to interject. Okay? It looked like she was thinking out loud and it was awkward for her. So we're going to make it a moment because of that. Like, Dorit was reaching so hard with that. Then tells her she proceeded to be even more of a in that moment. And I said, well, good, Dorit, someone ought to be up to you by now because you've gotten away with a ton at this point. Okay. The real gag, though, button, however, is how she had a whole conniption and drew attention to the fact that Sutton called her at her 4th of July party, and let it not be lost on us that was after Dorit triggered her with the alcoholism comment. Okay. But who corrected Dorit in that moment on that stage and told her that that was disrespectful? Who stopped her like, Dorit, don't call her, or Dorit, don't say it, or Dorit, calm down? Nobody. Nobody. She just kept talking like nobody even heard it. And I'm like, and this is again why I can't do this. I can't do it. Okay. Then we get into the whole Byyye stare comment and where that lady is. And I said, but Dorit, where's the lady who's such a victim? Where's she today? Where's the woe is me lady, the deer in headlights that's always looking like just in such shock? Because you bought somebody else today. You certainly did. And then we get into the whole Wally comment, which I'm still totally fine with. But my mind is blown because I'm like, y'all are chiming in on how disgusting the comment is. It's true. Okay. It's a very true comment. Yet, most importantly, I'm like, Sutton just refreshed y'all memory on how Dorit enjoys calling people see you next Tuesdays. But that's cute and not a problem. Again, I say that's why folks won't be playing in my face and on my top next season because I won't be there. Okay, not doing it. Sidebar, Erica, fix your mouth because it's slanting for whatever the reason at this point, girl. I don't know if y'all saw that, but it looked weird. And it was, you could say, oh, well, she kind of was making, no. Something's going on over there. Okay, son. I said that to y'all in my last video. I don't know what she had going on, flowing through her, allegedly, possibly, potentially, but it's like, girl, are you okay? And so Dorit says Sutton doesn't live like the Queen of Sheba because she lives on a main road. And I said, I'm careful, Poorit. Okay? You might want to pump your brakes and pause because you don't know what your future holds and where you'll be living when all is said and done. Okay? You might be begging to be on a main road. Those pockets are already quite dry. Let's call it a desert storm. Okay? So keep talking though. And let that mouth write them checks that you certainly can't cash literally and figuratively. Keep going. Keep setting yourself up. Keep doing it. Dorita's just, she's absolutely disgusting to me. She's absolutely disgusting because then even from here, you can see the antagonizing begin. The poking and the poking and the poking at Sutton to get the rouse and reaction out of her. Meanwhile, in my opinion, Sutton has been keeping it cool the whole time. I wish she would have gone a little deeper and a little more in, but she's still been keeping it so chill. And I said it before, I'll say it again. I don't go for mean girl behavior, y'all. I never have. I never will. Not when it's undeserved. Not when that's not who that person is. We all make mistakes. We all act out, right? We all have said and done things that we shouldn't have done at the end of the day. But my thing is, make amends, fix it, correct it, and do better. And if you don't have the capabilities to do better and you're a repeating cycle, then stay away from said person, or stay away from the person you keep offending or who keeps offending you or whatever. But to start going low and playing dirty and being evil about things is not necessary, and it's unwarranted. It's unacceptable. There's no excuse for it, especially as you get older. You like, I would like to think, and people used to always tell me that when I was younger and I didn't understand, because my whole thing would be, yeah, but they're older, they should know. No, don't be fooled, because age is just a number. Age is just a number. Everybody's maturization level ain't all there. Everybody's mental capabilities ain't there. But it's like, at the end of the day, all of this stuff, it doesn't make any sense. And for us to sit and have to watch season after season after season and there's been no resolution, it's just a hamster wheel spin, is agonizing. Is agonizing, right? And so I can't wait, y'all, to wrap up with this third episode and be done. I think it fair to say that I wish Sutton and Garcelle would have come more prepared to eat those ladies right on up. And I mean, straight up chew them up and spit them out and send them with something to think about. Again, we got Dr. Seuss up in this, okay? And send them on their way, because I'm just like, why are y'all allowing them to disrespect y'all like that? But in however, I totally understand to the flip of that, the exhaustion too, and just being over it, like where you have nothing left to give. And I've also said that before. And it's like, oh, and Erica, y'all had a coordinated effort, okay? And were prepared under the guise that y'all were gonna sneak discarcel and do your usual two-step with Sutton for this reunion, okay? I said it, and so what? Coordinated, coordinated, coordinated effort. Exclamation mark. Okay. Y'all definitely had conversations about coming after those two. Like I said, without them. And that's the thing. Y'all need to be kissing the motherfucking rings of both of them. Because where would you be without them on this show had it not been for them? They paved the way. They're helping you. Okay? They're helping you to be whatever it is that you're claiming to be at this point, to even be visible, because without them, what would we be entertained with? What would we be entertained with? Okay. Anyways, y'all. So that's all I've got. That is all I've got. That is all I've got, y'all. I thought overall that this part two was, just somewhat of a snooze fest. Towards the end, I guess it became a drag fest, if you want to call it that, as it relates, to Dorit just coming at Sutton. And it was just, like I said, per usual, pretty devastating to watch. And, you know, y'all just keep me posted though. Okay, y'all keep me posted though when they start to switch up on bows. That's what I'll be waiting for. Okay, y'all let me know. But anyways, y'all, the music is on, the dance floor is lit. Don't be no prude and hold up the wall. Get on the dance floor and let me know what y'all thought, how y'all feel. Did you find this to be super entertaining? I know most of y'all have probably been over it too. Um, were y'all feeling anything any of these folks had to say? Just let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts, y'all. I want to go ahead and get to my DJ announcement. But even before I do that, rewind again to, I think I gave a shout out to y'all in the beginning, but if I didn't, again, to my folks who always hit that dance floor, I think I do. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. But my DJ announcement is, okay, let's get the horn. So I will now be reviewing and sliding on a little late to the party, but better late than never, The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, I don't have a sound effects machine yet to have things go off. I am my own sound effect machine. Okay, so I'm hoping that you guys are cool with that you guys have been watching. And this comes off the heels. So shout out to, again, my party peeps, Spencer, who had just encouraged me even a while ago to just, pick up some other shows, and Talkative TV Addict, who specifically asked me to do Atlanta. And initially I kind of was like, I don't know if I want to fool with them ladies. It's a whole kind of season where, a lot of our OG people kind of are missing, or the people that are there, I'm not really interested in seeing. But googly muggly. If after this last episode they ain't been out there acting up in these streets, and I can't help. Listen, I was up there talking to myself watching. I said, oh no, I got to get with my folks. I got to get with my folks and let them know what is on the dome and on the brain. And I'm sure it is not far fetched from the thoughts of many, but I still got stuff to say about it. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So please join me in another video for like a quick recap. Obviously, I can't go back to the first couple of episodes that are missed because you guys are far past that. And so I just kind of want to give my thoughts on just where we're at now. And yeah, go from there. Okay? Go from there. So meet me over there, y'all. Okay? I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all are the motherfucking best. Okay? I hope that this video found you in good spirits. And if it didn't, I hope somehow put a little bit of a smile on your face for sure. I'm sending you all social hugs. And y'all know I'll be back to do it one more time with this. That's all for y'all. Okay? Because I really need to listen. The way I tell you, I could be done right now. And I wanted to be done about 6 episodes ago. But I love having a reason to come and speak to you guys for sure. So, with that being said, again, I'll be back to do it all over next week. So until then, y'all know what to do. Y'all stay up, y'all stay blessed, and I'm out. Peace.